Hello everybody, I'm the Wasteland Viking and welcome back to Call of Cthulhu. Let's just jump right into it and read what's going to happen next. Chapter 7, The Nameless Bookstore. The Shambler turned out to be much more than an artwork painted by Sarah Hawkins, as a huge creature came out of the painting to attack Pierce. To attack Pierce. After a hard fight, that actually wasn't that hard, but the detective managed to send it back into the painting. He later discovered that the dagger he used to repel the creature had been sold to Sanders by a man named Algernon Drake, owner of the Nameless Bookstore. Pierce decides to pay the library a visit. It's more like an emporium than anything else, but of course his name is Algernon Drake. He's probably the edgiest person on this island. Enter madness. Inspect the bookstore.
Where is the bookseller?
Don't know, dude. Let's look, see here. Some clues. Alright. Inventory. Stuff we got last time. Totally fine. Why does my DPI feels way lower than it usually is? I don't know what's going on with that. Sanders' residence. Sanders' house, all in shades of red and in gold, is impressive, but nothing matches the private gallery of Francis Sanders. The place is huge and entirely dedicated to his passion for troubling and macabre works. Defaced figures of virgins, sacrificial daggers, statues of monsters. And the painting that led him to his demise takes center stage. The Shambler, a painting by Sarah Hawkins, a close friend of the couple. What happened in this room, I will never be able to forget it. Alright. Painting of the Shambler. The Shambler was exposed in Francis Sanders' gallery, but I think that the creature no longer requires it for movement. It went to hunt down Sanders in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. I do not know where it comes from, but one thing is sure, it's starving. Did I succeed in sending it back to its world? I'm not sure. Extract from the notebook of Edward Pierce, private detective. We've got more points in Shanity, so we got 2 more points. Ooh, we skipped one. Oh, the book, right. I didn't read the book. Yep, slowly going away. Trickling there, being shaken. All that fun stuff. Meet the Shambler. It is in Francis Sanders' private gallery that Pierce discovers the identity of the Shambler, a huge artwork painted by Sarah Hawkins. When Pierce approached it, a creature burst forth from the painting and immediately chased after him. This beast was from another dimension. Has such a hold on the mind of a person who finds himself in its presence that a simple glance in its direction is enough for Pierce to lose some sanity. Pierce finally managed to send the Shambler back into the painting, using a dagger engraved with a strange symbol. But this encounter has left its mark on the psyche of the investigator. Still under the influence of the creature, he almost stabbed his own hand. Shit, that would suck. Why is this? Oh, occult. Dagger of the Ancients. This exceptional dagger of Ottoman origin probably dates from the 16th century. It bears the Elder sign on its hilt. It apparently belonged to Pargali Ibrahim Pasha, Grand Vizier at the court of Suleiman the Magnificent. Legend tells that how did I say his name? Pargali? I don't know. Used the symbol on the dagger to protect the court from a creature that haunted the mirrors of the place. What is certain is that Suleiman had his vizier executed. Did he fear him after this demonstration of power? Extract from Art and Mysticism, Francis Sanders' Forgotten Objects. Because of course we had time to read that and know exactly what that is while we were trying to take care of the Shambler. Of course. Do that. Yep. Is that it? Yep. All right. Looks like somebody broke in. Obviously, probably not by Algernon's doing. Alright.
An old diary.
Right, Diary of the Pastor's Wife, Volume 4. The pastor declared himself to be the prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan entity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to this voice in his head because it holds the truth. Don't they all say that, though? And then they end up getting fucking murdered or whatever, become a frickin' martyr. Then everybody loves them forever. That's how that shit goes. This seems more like an emporium more than just a, library of sorts, as was described in the summary. History of Darkwater, Volume 2 by Harry Campbell. Alright, a Puritan colony led by Reverend John Wickwood settled on the island during the 17th century. They named the island Darkwater because of the dark shades of the sea. They believed it was because of the peculiar color of the rocks surrounding the island. They erected the first buildings, among which were the Hawkins Manor, the church, and the cemetery. The rare documents and handwritten notes they left spoke of nightmares and deviant behaviors. They disappeared at the beginning of the 18th century. Alright, fair enough. Oh, right, yeah. Okay. Yeah, pictures of things and whatnot. Oh. Alright, developers, I understand that you have limited resources and things like that sometimes when it comes to things. But having multiples of the exact same thing in even the building itself, but just flipping the image is not good enough. Sorry. I'm not a developer myself. I appreciate those that put effort into it. As a gamer, as a consumer of content, it is appreciated when things have a little bit of effort. I'm bitching to a game that's made from 2018 and hasn't had an update probably since late 2019 or something like that. I don't know. Darkwater History, Volume 4, Harry Campbell. In the 19th century, as the American whaling industry reached its peak in the rest of the world, whales gradually disappeared from the water surrounding Darkwater. This phenomenon appears even more mysterious because up till then, the region was a favored refuge for cetaceans. What? How? Anyway, word. In 1847, after months of pursuit, Scylla returns to port with a gigantic creature on board. Its crew asserts that the sea monster had eaten all the disappeared whales. After a night of ferocious combat, the survivors managed to drag the beast onto the whaling ship. Okay. What that does for us, I don't know, and probably already something that was presumed. Linguistics. Mythology. Theology.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion.
I mean, I know he's a private investigator and stuff like that, but was he educated in this kind of stuff? Every book that he's been picking up, apparently he knows what it is. Besides, like, moments like this where I'm guessing they're just, like, the summary of the book on the back or something like that, or the front page. I don't know. These... You just said what it was. Tibetan? Actually, you didn't say it. Anyway, writings are at the origin of the esoteric movement founded by Helena Blavatsky at the end of the 19th century. The creator of Theosophy would have drawn extensively on the texts of this work, but no one has ever been able to consult them. I thought they didn't exist. This book, discovered in the nameless bookstore on Darkwater, could be as much a fake as irrefutable proof of Blavatsky's sincerity. Occultism, okay. I guess it could be considered as occultism. Breviary of Medicine, Tome 3. Even a few years back, it was possible for a single practitioner to know all the medical knowledge of his time. This book, which concludes the series, shows that this is now virtually impossible. About 10 renowned doctors took part in putting together this collection. Cool. Yeah, and then, I mean, this is definitely the part in the game when it gives you a lot of just books and that kind of backstory. Things like that. Handbook on Anatomy and Dissection, Book 2. As precise and illustrated with as much detail as the first volume, this book focuses on healing surgeries specific to malformations and motor disorders. Would you read the book? No. I'm not going to read it. Even though I want to, because I like being, you know, insane. Biology and mythology, right? As we saw in there. Archaeology, poetry, history. Oh, an airship. Okay. Oh, we read... Okay. In case you haven't noticed, that same kind of book-looking thing is kind of a important thing, I guess.
What happened here?
The name of this bookstore. I've never seen such a collection of works on magic and occultism. Algernon Drake, the owner, prides himself on being a luminary in the study of esoteric phenomena. The library was ransacked during an attempted burglary. It holds numerous rare or forbidden works. Its back room houses a safe protected by an ancient symbol. I guess y'all can figure out what that one is. Oh, come on. Fuck off.
Let's start over. Where did they break in from?
Wow, I like teleporting. Cool, okay. Phasmophobia, anybody? Again? Anyway, I haven't played that one in a while.
Blood. Seems like amateur work.
Hello? Oh, okay. Anything else scattered about the place? Nope. Looks like the only part here.
To whom does this footprint belong?
Good question. Why do you seem wounded, my dude? Oh yeah, you can't put on your light here.
This burglar seems to be rather clumsy.
No, looks like it. Well, I didn't see all of this unless Algernon picked it up and cleaned it, but kind of doubt that. Yeah, my back feels rather irritated today, so I'm kind of rushing this, but I don't want to, so if it looks like I'm kind of brushing through some areas, that's kind of why. Like, not looking at the same damn thing over and over again, because they didn't do that. Anyway. Oh. Okay, well, let's...
What killed all these animals?
Oh. Shit. Well, those are obviously beetles of sorts.
What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene?
We don't have forensics or anything like that around here?
What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work?
Hey, look, that protective thing that we were looking about.
What the... Charles Hawkins?
I thought the tentacle arm was on his right arm.
What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe. Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case.
A small island. Oh, hello.
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
A page seems to be hidden here. It is possible to read. If somebody finds these memoirs, there will be no doubt that I am in serious trouble. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still in this plane of reality in order that they be recovered and burned. The funeral urn must be given to my dear mother if she is still of this world. The following message is of capital importance. Whoever reads these lines and demonstrates acuity as sharp as mine can hope to gain access to my most precious possession. He already sounds like a neckbeard. Anyway, it lies within my safe, and the clues to the combination are to be found in 3 cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine in the Greek world. Anatomy? Biology? Biology, probably. Because bio is life, ology is the study of. But yeah. Each cylinder is numbered, even if, as a celebrated author says, order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of the imagination. Indeed, despite my preference for organized chaos, I must admit that reason usually prevails in the end. If by chance, a person, or should I say a genius, was to match my intellect and find the combination of the safe, I would ask that they deliver its content into the safekeeping of my friend and colleague, Professor Armitage of the Miskatonic University. Yes, Professor Armitage. Yeah, I mean, he is the character, obviously, at the Miskatonic University, who found the Dunwich horror and kind of ended that whole horror, if one could say. But yeah, a good read if people are interested in it. The content of this safe is not only a vast digest of knowledge, but also a weapon that is far too dangerous for it to fall into the wrong hands. I hope that you will be able to appreciate the danger that this represents, and that you will act accordingly. In any event, I will neither be there to guide you nor to suffer from your actions. All right. Welp, so we got 3 cylinders to find. Handbook and Anatomy and Dissection, Book 1. The least that could be said about this book is that the title is well conceived. The illustrations of human anatomy and dissection methods presented are illustrated in great detail. You have a strong heart, or the detachment proper to doctors to consult its pages.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
I'm surprised I haven't figured that out yet. Even an 11-year-old kid is taking sleeping
What link
pills.
did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
Well, it's pretty easy to assume. Sold for $2,053. This key that bears the Elder Sign is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion hanging at the end of a heavy chain. Hundreds of years ago, the star and the branch, whose purpose is to push back the forces of the great old ones, were engraved at its center. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from its last owner, an Egyptian antique dealer. In press cuttings that mention the misdemeanor, the date of the robbery coincides with the last of Hawkins' trips to Cairo. It remains to be seen whether he knows of the true purpose of the artifact. Try to find it. Interesting. All right. Anything else over here? Over here? Alchemy. Alchemy? Well, I mean, yeah. He's into the whole magics and all that kind of stuff. Alchemy kind of ties into it. Whoa. Okay.
Arkham editions. Never heard of him.
Arkham Anthology, Volume 4, The Key of Solomon. Yep. These are known as, well, I guess it depends. Arcane tomes, occult. They're kind of a staple in the whole occult thing, especially of this genre. A book of spells. That's most of the reason why. Supposedly written by the legendary King Solomon, it contains various rituals of invocation and rituals of curse. Reedition by Claudia D. Waits, based on L.W. de Lawrence's original. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on esotericism and the supernatural, which that kind of pokes a little bit at the idea of Christianity in general. He's obviously King Solomon, oh my, one of the kings in the Bible and stuff like that, that may or may not have done it. I mean, yeah, he was a whacked dude.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
A lot. A book of esoteric philosophy and a key text in Madame Blavatsky's Theosophical Movement, written by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. Sorry, I'm not doing my Russian heritage any favors by trying to say names.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
It's the same thing. I don't know why it's a lot of copy and paste unless that's...
Arkham Editions.
Oh.
Never heard of him.
Never mind. I just looked at the same book twice. A collection of poems by Edward Pickman Derby, also known as the Nightmare Lyrics. This collection of poems was sensationally received when first published in 1908. Derby was only 18 years old. Azathoth and Other Horrors.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
And he says that literally for every single one of these books. So sorry, but they just for some reason didn't feel like he can elaborate more on what the book is rather than the whole collection itself. Opera in 8 acts by Benvenuto Chiti Brodagura? I don't know. An infamous lyrical work published in Italy, 1768. I'm only 1% Italian, so, of course I didn't know that. Or how to even say that freaking name. It is said that the opera was performed only once, resulting in an audience riot that left several dead and missing. That's usually not a good sign.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Yep, The Prophecies, a collection of long-term astrological predictions written in verse. Right, I forgot who the dude was. Written by Oh yeah, Nostradamus. Yes, yeah. The Greek dude who pretty much seemed like he predicted a lot of the natural events that actually happened in even, well, relatively modern eras and stuff like that. Translated by E. Leone and Theophilus Widebridge. Was his nose bridge wide?
Arkham editions. Never heard of him.
Aurea Linda. So this is volume 1. An ancient Phrygian manuscript translated by William R. Sandbach. The text claims that in the distant past, Europe and other continents were controlled by the mothers of this people, and moreover, that our alphabet is derived from Phrygian language. Oh, from the Phrygian language.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Things That Should Not Be, Volume 3. A collection of essays on American folklore and urban legends written by Albert Wilmerth, professor at Miskatonic University. I wonder if it's more related to, because the Miskatonic University is in Arkham, Massachusetts. It's obvious, yeah, it's a fictional university located in Arkham named after the Miskatonic River, which flows through the town. Yeah. I mean, yeah, no shit, it's fictional, but who the fuck knows? If you don't do your research, you don't know. I know a lot about this world, but I don't know everything.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Yes, Corpus Hermeticum. Written by Hermes Trismegistus, translated and edited by Nathaniel M. Coppelius. This collection of texts on different beliefs was written by a legendary philosopher. It includes a translation of the Emerald Tablet, a popular text among 16th century alchemists. Alright, well, yeah, the Arkham anthology. Pretty interesting shit, which I wish, I don't know, I'm very interested in that stuff. I have no experience with the, well, actually, I can't say that. I've had some experience with the supernatural, but not in depth to, you know, having a broad knowledge of it. But still, it'd be fun to, like, actually sit down and read some weird shit. I don't know. Ugh. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it without sounding like a fucking weirdo, which I know I am. Anyway. Cylinders.
Things are not looking good.
Yeah. We need the cylinders because they give us the clues, and it's related to that chessboard, the goblet there, and something else. I think, oh.
A kind of chalice.
Yeah, it's something to do with the blood drops, pretty much. I think there are 5 of them on there. So one of the digits is 5. I haven't played the game in about a year and a half, so I'd have to... I think 4 because of the white pieces. And then there's something, obviously, like one more that I don't recall what it is. Anyway, I think it's time for some light because we might need to actually look at what we're doing here. Oh, this bright's light. I mean, no, the light is bright. I can't speak today. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. Here in Utah, it feels like the weather, as far as like season-wise, is changing, even though it's only mid-August, which usually doesn't happen. And ouch. Lots of things are going on today.
That Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
Okay, I guess they weren't that hard to find. Never mind. I forgot that they were literally just in one spot, not scattered around like I was going to do. Let's do the first one. Oh,
And
yeah.
these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Henry is Professor Armitage, by the way. So yeah, 5.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their
4.
dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Alright, 549. I brisked through that because I don't want to spend all the time figuring out what the hell to do, even though it's quite obvious. Nope. And then rotating 5, 4, 9. What? No way was that wrong. Okay.
The Chalice of Knowledge.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, I guess that's... Is it 449? No, they're 5. Yeah, they're 5. Four. And then volume 9. Nothing about that. And obviously the only way you can listen to those is by the phonogram. It doesn't fill in the gaps to be like, oh, this one said this one said that, so... Anyway, alright.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guard, and these red drops,
Oh, I didn't
like
mean to
precious
do that.
stones, lie.
Okay.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I finally understood that we were only... Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Is it in the other order? Yeah, it was up here.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
There's nothing else besides maybe... Well, no, because 18 obviously isn't high enough of a number on that. What? How could that be wrong? Unless... Five, 4, 9. No, that wouldn't make sense. Oh! Is it 6? 5, 6, 9? Let's try that. Because, like, they're not on the board, but they were still standing. There was one knocked over. Nope. How about... I did not hit E. Protecting the White Queen. Yeah. Oh, 3. So there are 4 pieces that are white, but the ones protecting the queen, there are 3. Derp. Oh, hey, look. If you haven't figured that out, this is the Necronomicon. A copy of the Necronomicon, anyway. That's why he wants to have it be taken to the Miskatonic University. Even though I believe there's already supposed to be a copy there, so I don't know why he would have one. Well, I mean, he could have one. Yep. This when the game starts getting real good. Oh hey, I think that's a trailer moment. Alright, well I guess that's the episode. Jesus. Anyway. So, yeah. Like, that puzzle is easy, I heard it, read it properly, I knew what the puzzle was as far as the answer, but the context of the white pieces was just a little off, but that was easy to figure out in the end. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Short as ever. Not a whole lot else to do beyond this point as far as that goes, but yeah, no. Probably the safe is a lead safe, because lead is supposed to protect stuff from extra-dimensional things or being able to be, you know, like scryed upon, divination type magic, stuff like that. But yeah, so it's probably that with the Elder Sign on it, and then obviously there's the Elder Sign on the book, which is ironic because it's supposed to protect you from evils, even though when you read the thing, it makes you go crazy. So that's a little ironic and weird at the same time, but I think it's just to symbolize that that's what it is, rather than, like, let's say, well, I mean, obviously stuff like the Evil Dead, the movie Evil Dead, it was the Necronomicon, but it had, like, a face on it, I think. The old one, anyway, had a face on it, but anyway, the Necronomicon has human flesh for the leather of the pages, and also, well, of the book, and also the pages, and stuff like that. That's kind of why it's all, you know, weird and gross. But anyway, stuff like that. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed that. That's just a little backstory of what the Necronomicon is. But yeah, it's for those who don't know, it's the book of ultimate evil. It's the book of vile darkness, you know, a D&D, you know, reference and, you know, parallel to it. But it's really bad, and whenever you open it up, if you're not practiced enough in the arcane or supernatural of any kind, the occult, that kind of stuff, you tend to go cuckoo. Even people that are experienced with that kind of stuff can go a little whack if they spend too much time in it. But it looks like we projected somewhere and into something or somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. Still, love this game a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's slow paced, but once it picks up, it's a hell of a lot of fun. Tell you what. But yeah, as usual, please like, comment, and subscribe. It'll help out a lot. All those buttons are free. So if you come by and you're liking this kind of stuff, I'll be coming out with other different games like this in the future. So if you'd like to see more of those, please do like and subscribe. And also comment down a game that you might want to watch me play, or suggestion of any kind. I've already got one lined up after this, which is going to take longer than this game to probably do. But and also links in the description to my social medias and to my Discord, so you could join in and have conversation with new people of My group of friends have lots of different interests, but also similar interests at the same time. So they're a group of fun people to hang out with and whatnot. And they're fun, but yeah. And then also to my Patreon. Right now at the moment, it is just a support kind of Patreon thing going on. So if you feel generous, you can pledge and just support me in whatever I do. It's only $3 a month. But yeah, I will see you all in the next video. And until then, take care. Bye-bye.